Okay, now it's your turn. We're going to practice some that are just like the ones from the previous video. I've got some examples here for you. And I'm going to zoom in so that you can see them. Again, I'm giving you way more than you need. I want you to do question number 1 and question number 9. Pause the video, do question number 1 and question number 9. We'll come back and do those together. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just slide this forward a little bit, and we're going to do question number 1 and question number 9 together. Question number 1, here's what you should have done. 3y equals 6x plus 4. The instructions were find the slope of each line. To get the slope, you have to have y equals mx plus b. And it's almost in that form, but it has to be a 1 there. So what we're going to do is divide by 3 for everything. Y, so that's gone, is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2x plus 4/3. All that matters for this question that says find the slope is that right there. The slope is 2. That's an easy question. But again, you have to know what slope is and where it is in that equation. You have to know that equation by memory so that you can get that answer. Question number 9. Minus 5x plus 4y equals negative 9. And again, we have to be y equals mx plus b. Problem is this one isn't set up like that at all. I'm going to leave the y on the left, so I'm going to leave this right here. So I've got to move this to the other side. So plus 5x has to move the other side. So I've got 4y equals 5x minus 9. Y equals mx plus b. So some kind of number at the end. To solve, I'm going to divide by 4, divided by 4. So y equals 5 over 4x minus 9/4. The answer, 5/4. There's plenty of extra that you can go back at the beginning of this video and zoom in and do some others to practice on your own. But if you're getting these, if you got these two, you probably have it mastered. Okay, so let's try a different type. Here's some other examples. And again, I'm giving you way more than you need. Let me zoom in real quick so that you can see them. It says find the x and y intercept for the following lines. And this time I want you to do number 1 and number 11. And we'll come back and we'll do those together. Let's see if you can do question number 1 and question number 11. Pause and we'll come back in just a minute. All right, let's see how we did on those. Okay, question number 1. 2x plus y plus 2 equals 0. Now, if you remember from the notes we took a while ago, if you're in standard form, which looks like some number with x plus some number with y equals a number, then you can do this pretty easily. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put it in that form. So that means we have to have x, y, and move the number to the other side. So we're going to have, that means I got to move that over there. So that becomes a minus 2. So 2x plus y equals minus 2. All right, that works out all right. I'm going to take that clutter out real quick. All right, reminder, if I have the x-intercept, it's a number and 0 is the second position. If I have y-intercept, it's going to be a 0 first. So I just got to figure out those numbers. So how do I do that? Well, if this is x and y, and this is x and y for a point, if this one has y as a 0, well, let's just do this. If y is a 0, if that becomes a 0, then all I have left is 2x equals minus 2. Divide by 2, x equals minus 1. There's my x-intercept. If I want to get the other one, then, put my equation back real quick, then x is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. So y equals minus 2. I didn't have to do really very much on that. There's my y-intercept. So my x-intercept is negative 1, 0, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 2. A mathematical way to get x and y-intercepts very easily without having to graph them, because this type of question is in the section where there's no calculator used. Let's try number 11. Number 11 looks a lot harder. You may have struggled on this one. Probably not. You're pretty good at this. First thing, I see something that doesn't look normal, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute that through. So I'm going to get 3y minus 2x minus 12 equals 0. Put it back in the form that we talked about a minute ago. Move that 12 over by adding. There's my equation. Okay? So I'm going to take all of that out. If my x-intercept is going to be something 0, and my y-intercept is going to be 0 something, all I have to do is figure out those blanks. So let's do that real quick. X, y. So I'm going to put the y as a 0, so that becomes 3 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. So negative 2x equals 12, divided by negative 2. X is minus 6. So this answer is minus 6. Okay, there's my answer right there. To do the other one, put that back real quick. 3y. If x is 0, then 2 times 0, all of that goes away. So all that's left is 3y equals 12 divided by 3. Y equals 4. There's my y-intercept. So even though this equation for number 11 looked way more complicated, it's really not very complicated. Now, you can go back and do any of the others you want, but I'm going to give you a bonus question right now that I'm going to do with you. I'm going to look at number 14. That one looks really difficult, but I'm going to show you an easy way to make your life work for an equation like that one, especially when you're having to do it without a calculator. Nobody likes to work with fractions. And so the easiest way is to multiply both sides by something so that your fractions go away. So I need to find a number that 3 and 8 both go into, and so what comes to mind real quick is 24. I'm going to multiply both of those by 24 and watch, my fractions are going to go away. So if I do it on the left, I have to do it on the right. Now, 24 is the same as 24 over 1. So when I compare these two fractions, I see that 3 goes into 24 8 times. So multiply across the top. 8 times 2 is 16. 1 times 1 is 1. So that becomes 16x. My fraction just disappeared. Okay, so one more time. 3 goes into 24 8 times. So I just reduced. Take that number back real quick. 8 goes into 24. Oh, that one also reduces. 8 goes into 24 3 times. So multiply across 3 times 1 is 3. And 1 and 1 is, okay, so that becomes 3y equals 24. Now notice, what looked really complex is now very simple. So all I have to do is what I was just doing. If x-intercept is something 0 and y-intercept is 0 something else, plug the 0 in, solve. So if I put a 0 here for y, then 16x equals 24, solve it. If I have x is 0, that goes away, 3x equals, it's the same math we just did. Okay, not too difficult of a skill. Lots more equations on here that you can practice yourself. If you don't feel super confident about it, go ahead and try that and see if you got that. Last example that we're going to try on this Now You Try is questions that look like this. And I'm going to zoom in real quick. Too far. All right. On this one, I want us to do question number 1 and 2. Okay, again, you have the notes on how to do this. Pause the video, do question 1, do question 2, and we'll come back and check our answers. All right, let's see how we did. Write an equation for a line as described. So I'm going to have a line which is y equals mx plus b. Remembering that that's slope and that's the y-intercept. So let's see what they gave us. On number 1, has a slope of minus 2. So y equals, if the slope is minus 2, that goes with x, and the y-intercept is 4, and that's a positive 4, well, there's my equation. That one's very simple. I just plug in the values where I know they go. So that's the answer to question number 1. Plugging the values in. Let's try number 2. A line that passes through the point -3, 5, and has a slope of 3. So my slope is 3. So y equals 3x plus some number. But I know that all points are x, y, so if I plug those numbers in, I'm going to put a -3 there, there's my x, and a 5 there. So 5 equals -9 plus b. All I did was substitute those numbers into the equation. B's already right here, so I'll leave it there. I'll move that number over here by adding. 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 equals b. So b is 14. So it wants to know the whole equation. So y equals, what was the slope? 3x plus b is 14. There's my answer. substituting numbers in. Okay? Let's do one more together. I want you to do number 11 down there at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to zoom in for you real quick. Passes through that point, and it says, and is parallel to that line. Pause the video, try that one, then I'm going to come back and do it with you. All right, I bet you got this one. They gave us a line that's minus 3 over 5x plus 10. So that's an equation, and they said it's parallel. So my new line, parallel, they have to have the same slope. But that doesn't mean they hit the x-axis at the same place. So I know I'm going to have to find that out. If it goes through the point 5, 2 that it says, that's an x and a y. So I'm going to put 5 and 2. So 2 equals negative 3/5 times 5. Well, 5 is the same as 5 over 1. So I can try to make those fractions go away plus b. I have a 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom there. Those cancel. So all I have left is 2 equals minus 3 plus b. Leave the b, move that over by adding. B equals 5. So it wants to know the final equation. So the final equation is going to look something like this. Y equals, we know it's the same slope. Where does it hit? At 5. Here it is, we got it. If you want a little challenge, try doing number 12. Try doing number 12 and make it perpendicular. Now remember, perpendicular means it's going to have the inverse, the negative reciprocal of that. So if they tell you that the slope is 5/2, I'll give you a hint. Flip it. That becomes 2/5, and you have to change the sign. See if you can do that one. I'll bet you can. If you need any more help, there's plenty of extras that are on each of these, and you can try any of them. If you're stuck, try some more. Ask for some help as you go along. If you've got a master, you know what you're doing, we'll meet you in the next topic.